Good afternoon. This is Joyce at Amazing Grace Wolf's Homestead. I'm glad you're here. I'm working on my homemade vanilla. And I did this last year and I made some for Christmas presents, and I'm absolutely thrilled with the vanilla, how it turns out. So I'm making it again. As a matter of fact, I have some friends that already told me that they want a bottle when it's finished. But it takes a while. It takes from 6 months to a year for vanilla to complete its course. And this, I'm starting off with a package of 75 pods of grade A, 100% fresh Plantfolia vanilla beans. And they smell so good, the vanilla beans do. And then I've also have 2 bottles, and I do want to make this statement. This is not for pleasurable use as far as just drinking. It is not for medicinal use. Neither one. This is going to be used for cooking and making breads and sweetbreads and cookies and pies and different things with this vanilla that we're making. So I just wanted to show you what I was doing. I have this, and these are 2 half bottles of 80% American-made vodka, premium quality vodka, and that's what was recommended to use to make the vanilla, so that's what I use.
80 proof.
80 proof. And so I'm going to take my vanilla bean and I'm going to cut it right into and split it just like that. And some people scrape theirs, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put the whole pods in, but I am going to split this whole package. Like I said, there's 75 pods here, so I'm going to put 37. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37 and a half. I'm actually going to put 37 and a half of these vanilla beans in each bottle. So let's get started. Once I get all of the beans inside, and I'm just dropping it down there, and then I will seal this up and put it in a dark closet and let it sit. And about once a week I will go to it and shake it, take it out and shake it, and then put it right back into the dark closet.
You're doing, PJ.
And I will leave that there for 6 months to a year. 6 months is what I did last year, so that's probably what I will do this year. That'll put me up close to Christmas, and that's when I really, really, really need the vanilla. It doesn't take very long to get it together. It's just your patience on waiting to use it to cook with. Because the longer you wait, the better the vanilla is. So we're just about ready to finish this project up. And I am working on the last few beans, getting it into this bottle. And just as I said, I used a half a fifth of vodka, 80 proof. You can tell that I'm not used to this kind of stuff. But anyway, it's 80 proof. And then I'm putting in 37 and a half vanilla beans in each bottle. And I like one more getting this done. And then I'm going to take a probe and I'm going to make sure that the beans are down inside the liquid. And then we're going to take a magic marker and write on the bottle today's date. And that will let me know 6 months from today I will be able to use this in baking cakes and pies and cookies and such. And getting ready for the holiday seasons with our family, Thanksgivings and our family meals. Let me wash my hands. And I just want to make sure that everything is really put down into the best I can get it down in there. And we'll poke these. Okay. And then put my top on here. Put that on there tight. And then with my marker, started May 2nd. $20.25. I'll do the same thing with this one. Started May 2nd, 2025. And I'm going to give them a really good shake. And into the dark closet it goes. And then this finishes this up, and then it continues on when we bring it back out in November and December to begin baking again. So on our next project. The other day when we left, I was making the homemade vanilla, and I got that all tucked away into the dark cabinet, and I checked it this morning and shook it and put it back up, and it's doing good. And then I told you that we'd be going on doing some other things, and one of the things that I had mentioned is that I have made a cross. We had in the garden, we had a round with some birds that just pulled my plants up, and so we would try to shush them off and keep them away, and we tried many different things, and just wasn't anything working. And I found, and I don't remember exactly where I found this, but we made a cross, and this is what it looks like. I want you to get a close-up look. I'm going to tell you what I used. You can use 1/2 inch, but I used 1/4 of an inch plywood. It's very thin, but I actually did 2 and put them together. But the part that makes the cross, it is a single piece of wood. Now this is, I believe, if I'm not badly mistaken, this is 4 foot. Yeah, this is 4 foot long. And what I do is then I would cut 2 of the long pieces, 4 foot, and then we cut one that is I believe it is 2 foot. Just let me double check and make sure on my measurements because I draw these out. And let's see. 12, yep, 2 foot. And then when we got them cut out, I put them together with a screw gun and little screws. And I put one here because I put 2 pieces of board together here. And then I put one in the center. And then I attached the cross piece with a screw. And that makes it a 1/2 inch when you put this, go to put this in the ground, and as you can see here, that makes that piece a 1/2 inch. And I did it this way in order to be able to make it stout enough to hold up for several years. I actually have one that is in my garden, and this is the 4th, maybe 5th year that I have been using this. But as we get this cross put together, we sawed the pieces out, we screwed with the screw gun the pieces together to hold the cross together, and then with the screw gun, I just punch little holes, 2 on each side of the cross. And I'm just going to be using just this little thin wire. It's very easy to handle, and I have wire cutters and pliers over there to help me to twist it, and I'll show you how I do that. But we will attach these CDs to it, and then once you attach the CDs and they hang down here, and they'll be offset any way that you want to offset them is fine. There's 2 on each side, and when you put them up in your garden, when the sunlight catches these CDs, it projects different colors, and that kind of gives the birds a scare, and they don't go to the garden as much as they would have if you did not have that there. So I just wanted to share this with you and to show you, and this does work. It helps. When the wind is a light wind that's blowing, these just shiver, and the lights from it, from the sunlight hitting it, just makes red, blue, and yellow and green lights. And sometimes it's like a pink and a purple light that shows out, and it's on the prisms of the lights when the sun hits it. So it's really, really pretty, but it also, it benefits, and it keeps the birds away from my young plants, to keep them from pulling them out. And not only that, but when you take time to paint your crops, it makes a beautiful piece added to your garden. So let's get started. I have already attached this together, and I have taken my hand sander and went over all of the edges. Every edge, I took my hand sander and went over all of the edges, including the back of it as well. So now what I have to do is that I'm going to get it painted so that I can begin to put some designs on the cross. Let me lay these to side. And when we get to that point, we'll show you. All right. Now on this one here, and I went on and I've made several. As you can see here, I've got several crosses that I've got made, and I'm going to try to get all these finished today. And then once I get them painted and get them decorated and all the CDs on them, I'm going to cover them with something like a marine varnish so that the weather will not be hard on the wood. And they will last 3, 4, 5 years if you take good care of it. I take mine up every year when we take the garden up, and then put it up, and then I bring it back out in the spring. So I'm going to get started, and we're going to paint this one. Just any kind of paint. You can use acrylic paints. I like acrylics. Let me get my big brush right here. And it doesn't take very long to paint them and to do them. So let's get this. This is a deep purple. And on this deep purple, I'm going to put light pastel flowers. You can put anything. You could put just designs. You don't even have to paint it at all. But this is a fun part of the day when I get to do things like this. And I enjoy it very much. So now that we've got the crosses, the base color of it, and I chose purple for these two, and then now we're going to just go in and we're going to put different types of decorations on it, and I like the flowers. So we're just going to get started here. And we'll see how that's going to work. Now I'm going to lay that, because I'm not finished with this green. I used 2 colors of green. And like I said, you can use it in any kind of paints. This is just some cheap acrylic paints that I'm using. But what I will do is I will use a good varnish, like a marine varnish, to go over the outside of it to protect all of it. Let me pick up some brushes here. All right, let's see. Let's start off with a little bit. Okay, and then they're not really any particular shape or any particular kind of flower. They're just little odds and end things that I would do. And then we'll come down here with one right about here. Okay, and then we get another little brush here, and I'm gonna daub it with some okay, and then we're gonna come in with let's see, we need some pink. I'm outside here. You can see my vehicles. And let me see if I can turn this around for you. If I can turn it around. I'm in the sunlight, so I can't really see. But what I'm doing is, and then I'll come back, and this is the next day. Yesterday we were working on the crosses, so I've got crosses painted, and I'm waiting for them to be finished drying painting so that I can work with them well and show you the rest of what the crosses look like for the garden. But you can see here, this is my big pot that I have in our next to our driveway, and I have some flowers that come up from last year, and I'm not sure. I planted some wildflower seeds in this, and I'm not for sure what this is, but I do have some marigolds coming back, and then this is a sunflower that I had placed in there, and there's there's some weeds too, so I've got to pluck those out. But I'm getting ready to put some petunias in there and some flowers, and then and we'll walk around on the front porch too as well while I'm waiting for the crosses to dry where I can work with them. I'm going to go on and get these flowers. These are my hostas, and I'm going to get the flowers planted in the big pots. You can see I have a big pot here and a big pot here as I'm going up steps, and we have had 5 days of rain, continuous rain, and I thank the Lord for the rain because we wouldn't receive it unless we need it, and I'm thankful for it. But I am so thankful for the sunshine today. But everything is so wet that you really can't get out in the yard to do a lot. And there's the garden down there beside this is at the house garden. And then you can see down there where that knitted mesh is over the onions and cabbage and broccoli that's down there. And that bed behind that is strawberries. And I had told you that I had lost most of my strawberries. Well, I've already got another pot of strawberries, and I'm going to be replacing those. But in the meantime, until I can actually get into the yard good to work, because we definitely have to mow and pick up limbs, I am going to get my pots here and here, the ferns to go in the big ones, and then my petunias and some little flowers that I'm going to get in here and get my porch swept off again, because we've had some wind along with the rains, and so I've got to get it all cleaned up and get it swept off again. So we're going to start back where we started from at the driveway, and I'm going to be putting in petunias, and got some beautiful petunias to put in. Of course, they're annual. Sometimes they come back and they do really good. I've had them to come back. And then I've also got, let's see, they are called the polka dot plant. And they are very, very pretty. And I'm going to put some of these in my pots as well to mix with the petunias and the flowers that's already in those pots. So let's get started and get going. So here we have these. I put one of the 4 here in this, and then I put petunias, and then I put it around the marigolds, and then the sunflower, and then this wildflower that I believe that's going to be something like a daisy, but we'll know when it blooms and when it comes up. And then over here in my tub, I have, this is red salvia that is coming up. And then I placed a pink, this one is pink, of the dot flower. And then this here is another petunia and a petunia here. And then I have actually spread some of my marigold seeds from last year where I saved them, so I'm hoping that they come up too. The ones in the big pot were from last year too as well. So now we're moving on to the porch. Now, as far as the porch, in about the end of July, first part of August, I'll come out here, because this will be the second year that it's gone, and I'll come out here and I will do the preserving on this porch and get that taken care of and get that done. And then goals for the future is to get new columns put up and new rail for the front porch. That's in the future. Let's go in now and continue on. Here we are back into the kitchen, and as when we was outside, I told you we was gonna to look at the crosses, and as you can see back here, you can see in the video, I've got some crosses that already has the base paint and everything on it, and then I've got some that's ready to go, and I've got two more that we got to finish. But this is my husband, whom I love very, very much. He's gonna put these other two on for us, and he's gonna finish this up and show us, because I went back, instead of doing the 3 nails, I also want to let you know that I found in the process I needed to put another nail at the very tip of this end of this cross on the lengthways, and so that made it hold together. And so he's going to show us how we're going to do this. He's using the first wire he's going to be doing. We actually took this wire and we made it 15 inches long, and we doubled it, folded it at 7.5 inches. And then he is going to put it in the hole that is already drilled. We do a lot of things together. We work on things together in so many areas. Okay.
We'll get them all straightened out once I get done with it.
Okay. And this piece here was 20 inches, and we folded it at 10 inches on the wire, because we wanted the CDs, the disc, to offset each other, so that when the sunlight catches, it makes all different kinds of colors all over your yard and in the garden.
Back up like that first. Bend the wire down. And bend one of them up. That way it locks it into place. Then when you get done with it, you just stand it up. And there they are.
And there's your cross that goes, got it. There's your cross that goes in.
That wire's not twisting around there.
Okay, got it? There you go.
I can get it, I just have to work with it a little bit.
So there's how the cross looks, and it makes a beautiful addition to your garden.
There you go.
Thank you, Daddy, for helping me.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll go on and set this over here. But we've been doing so much on this video. There's so much to do. And sometimes it doesn't seem like there's enough time to do everything that we need to do. But we do have time to do it. But since we have been so busy, today we're not doing any kind of fancy cooking or anything. We're just going to cook out of the pantry, and I'm going to show you what we're going to cook. We're going to have navy bean soup. We're going to have fried apples, and we're going to have turnip greens. These will be mixed greens, because a friend of mine wanted me to try these seasoned collard greens, and then I have a jar of my turnip greens, and I'm going to mix these greens, and we're going to cook that, and I'm going to make some cornbread. That'll be our lunch today, just simply right out of the pantry, easy fixings, and take care of that situation. Later on this week, I've got strawberries that's got to be transplanted into the strawberry bed. I mentioned before because I had lost almost all of my strawberries this time, and I didn't understand why. But we have went and bought another bundle of strawberries, and we're going to get those into the ground sometime this week. Not for sure exactly what time. And the word that I want to read today, you will find in Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 5. Let me get there. Isaiah 53 and verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Folks, enjoy today. Know that God loves you, that what he did on the cross healed us. Now in turn, we walk into what God has given unto us, and the glory of God to shine out unto all people. We give him praise, and we thank you for being with us on this journey of this video this week.